If you've been watching since the beginning, I apologize that I am a terrible sound engineer.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I'm all
Pam says she
better.
can hear us now.
Good.
Yeah, yes, Pam, we're going to start over.
All right, we're starting over.
Hey, you want to take it to like full screen us?
Oh, no. Not really. All right, hold on. I got to change the words back. Oh, man. So much work here.
Woohoo! Technical difficulties.
There we go. Okay. All right. Hello, Internet.
Hey, Internet and YouTube and Facebook.
Welcome to
Bourbon and
the
Zeppelins.
very beginning of the episode.
The second time through.
Of episode number 13. I'm David.
I'm Jeremy.
This is a podcast we do every week about a whole bunch of things. Sometimes politics, sometimes technology, mostly Kickstarters nowadays.
Yeah, Judgy McJudgerson.
Yeah, we like talking about Kickstarters, and you like listening to us talk about it. We know it. Jeremy, tell me, how was your weekend?
My weekend was.
You can say whatever
hectic.
you want now.
I can make up whatever I want. No, it was hectic with a lot of house cleaning, getting life back into order after Christmas break. Yeah, we're finally done.
I hear that.
Hey, Dawn.
I had another. Hi, Dawn. Who's Dawn?
Dawn's my friend. She's watching us too.
Hi, Dawn. I had a yet another Christmas party this weekend on the Friday night.
Halfway through January.
Halfway through January.
I'm gonna have Christmas parties in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Just to keep leapfrogging Christmas parties all the way till like Halloween.
Yeah.
Or at least St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Let's just have them year round. Just have one a month.
A Christmas party every month?
I've had 2 this month. Yeah, and then on Saturday night I had a fondue party, and at my friend's house, and my car was parked on the street in front of his house, and some jerk drove by and took my driver's side mirror off, and they
removed it.
Yep, they just with a screwdriver or a sledgehammer, it looks like maybe, and because they broke the little turny tube thing, it just sheared right in half. And because I have like heated mirrors, there's a wire that's in there, and so it rotated on the wire and smashed against the door pillar and put a nice little crinkled dent in it.
Crinkled dent.
Yeah, so that's going to be there forever. That dent.
You don't want to get it fixed?
I don't think I can. Like it doesn't look like you can suction cup it. Like it's like a deep V.
Oh, there's people that can do magic with bodywork. I'm sure somebody can. If you pay them enough money, they'll replace it.
I don't know if I want to pay him that much.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a lot of money.
It's an old car. Well, not that old. I've certainly driven older cars. Yeah, anyways. So
every picture of you is a picture when you were younger.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying, like, relatively older cars also, right? Like, my first vehicle was as old as I was. It was a year older than me, actually. I drove a 77 Volkswagen camper van.
Ooh, that's old.
Yeah. And then
I've never driven something that old.
And then my second vehicle, my very favorite vehicle, is a 1988 Nissan Sentra XE. It was like a hatchback.
I remember.
And it had a Micra engine in it. So it was
a micro engine?
Like from a Nissan Micra. It had
okay.
It was like had one of those engines in it.
From a sewing machine?
Pretty close. Pretty close. It was exceedingly underpowered. But the fun thing about underpowered vehicles is you can just wind them up all the time, and they're fun to drive around. Same with motorbikes, right? Like you get like a small engine motorbike, you can just always have it wide open.
Open, close, like go-karts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it is binary.
Yeah, open, close. All right.
So on to our talking point that we haven't discussed yet.
As far as anybody knows.
As far as anyone can tell.
We may or may not have unpacked this already.
We are going to talk about Jordan Peterson.
Who's Jordan Peterson?
That's a good question, Jeremy. Jordan Peterson is a Canadian university professor from the University of Toronto. He is famous or infamous for taking a stance that he will not address people by their chosen pronoun.
Unless their chosen pronoun is he or she.
Right.
In which case he's perfectly happy to do so.
Right. So he doesn't like ones that he feels are made up. Although I would like to point out to Mr. Peterson that all words are technically made up.
Shakespeare made up lots of words.
lots of them. Anyways, so we'd sort of
Right.
broken this down into. Oh, I gotta switch my words back. Jeremy, you can explain what we broke this down to. while
Okay,
I
so
do this.
So the Citadel Theater has denied Mr. Peterson facility to launch his book and have a speaking engagement, rent the facility to do a speaking engagement.
Right.
So he's not allowed to rent the Citadel because the Citadel doesn't agree with his ideas.
Right.
So this happens, and everybody goes berserk because that's what we do these days. We go berserk about someone's hurting someone's feelings, or this is like wonderful, and it's about time we're standing up for people, or whatever. And
Yes. Everyone feels very strongly about everything.
I only feel very strongly about like sleep and dinner.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I think there's three pieces to this question that people tend to conflate and all mix together. The first one is whether or not, let's see if I get these right. The first one is whether or not the Citadel did something wrong or not. Some people say, yes, it's wrong that they're denying him and they're going against his free speech.
Right.
Which we don't have in Canada. Technically, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay, the next one is whether or not the Citadel should either allow him or not allow him. And the third is whether or not you agree with his stance on gender pronouns. I'm not exactly sure which pronouns he's against, except all of them except he and she.
Yeah.
I believe is from what I understand.
Yeah, like I know specifically he brought up the G and J. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but it's like ZHE and ZHEY. So I think it's like G and J.
Okay.
Like stuff like that. Jim, I suppose, would be one also.
Which isn't that just like drunk Jim?
Yeah, sometimes. But it's also a gender-neutral pronoun, I guess. I think he just doesn't like gender-neutral pronouns.
Yeah, he's against that idea of
yeah.
creating creating new pronouns that.
Yeah, and I believe
address-
part of it was because I guess the University of Toronto, because I think that's where he's a professor.
Yes.
I think that they
right there. Toronto.
Well, it says
no,
that
that's the Toronto
it says
Press
he's
app.
doing a lecture at the University of Toronto, but I don't know if that's him at work or that's just him doing a lecture at the University. He might be out of Waterloo, maybe. I sort of have that in my head. At any rate, whatever university he's at, they basically put out what do you call it, like a rule, I guess, saying that you have to use these pronouns if people request it, and he sort of railed against that. And he wrote I don't remember if he wrote an article or something like that.
He's pretty strongly against this idea that someone's going to dictate to him the words that he is or isn't supposed to use.
That's
a different.
That's
okay.
who he is.
So the third is whether or not you agree with this idea that he has, and whether or not you hold the same opinions.
Right.
And so some people are saying, I don't agree with his opinions, so the Citadel should ban him from speaking there, and so therefore the Citadel has done nothing wrong. They've conflated those all three into one and one opinion. And the other side is I do agree with I agree with his stance on this. Mm-hmm. And the Citadel is trampling on his free speech, so they should not be denying him the ability to rent this space, and therefore they've done something wrong. Right. So in the second case, so I'm going to go now from the back end.
Sounds like the kind of thing Jordan Peterson wouldn't like.
Could be. When I'm trying to break these apart and work them out,
Mm-hmm.
The Citadel being a private institution, albeit that they receive some public funding,
Yes.
Being a private institution, I believe they should be allowed to operate their business however they decide to operate it, which means they should be allowed to deny service to anyone they don't want to deal with.
I agree with that.
So I don't believe that the Citadel did anything wrong.
No. And my only caveat there is just as long as they aren't receiving more public funds than private funds, and they're still technically a private company and a private business, then absolutely they represent themselves. And I don't believe that they are, but if they were, if more than 50% of their funding came from taxpayers, then they no longer are representing themselves, but they are now a representative of the government, essentially. And so then the rules change for them, and they have to deal with freedom of speech, essentially.
Which we don't have.
Which technically we do not have, and I tell people this all the time. But we do have...
Right, the point is they should be...
they would be held...
to the government
to a different standard, to the government standard as opposed to a private company standard.
Yes, Pam, this is a big can of worms, but we're going to make it very, very simple to eat in small bite-sized chunks, I think.
Yes.
By breaking those 3 pieces down into individual issues. So whether you agree with it or his opinion or not, I don't think the Citadel did anything categorically wrong.
That question has nothing to do with Jordan Peterson so much as are they allowed to rent to people and are they allowed to not rent to people?
Right. So they didn't do anything wrong. Now, going back to whether or not you agree with his opinion, if you do agree with his opinion, you have to recognize that even if you agree with his opinion, the Citadel is not silencing him. The Citadel is not the only forum in which to voice an opinion. The Citadel is not in the business of granting or disallowing freedom of speech or freedom of expression or the Canadian version of whatever we have. So the Citadel is in the business of operating their business.
Bringing joy to children.
Usually.
Through live theater.
Right. And so then...
and adults.
When we get to the middle part about whether the Citadel should or shouldn't, this is actually, I think, where the debate lies. You can agree with his opinion or not agree with his opinion. It's his opinion, and he's allowed to have it.
Well, there's debate there, too.
Whether he's allowed to have his opinion?
No, I mean, he's allowed to have his opinion.
But that's the only... I think that's the only part in this. Oh, sorry. You're right. There is a debate about what the right opinion and what the right... where the right place to land out on gender pronouns is. But that's not tied to whether or not the Citadel should or shouldn't.
No, I'm not saying that
Those are separate.
Yep.
We should not conflate them.
No, those are two separate issues.
So whether you agree with his opinion or not.
But I think his opinion is what's, I mean, obviously that's what's informing, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but I think that is what's informing the Citadel in their decision.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yeah, that's what they're making their decision on.
Right.
And that's fine. They get to make their decision however they see fit because they're a private business, assuming less than majority funded by public dollars. Like, that's where we're going. So then the actual conversation should come, the actual conversation about the story should come down to whether or not the Citadel should have. And now you can talk about your opinion on the Citadel. I, at first thought, which is about all I have, is they should not have denied him the opportunity to speak.
Right.
Because I would think that more than anything else, the Citadel would want to be a forum for opinions and discussion across the whole spectrum. Maybe they would decline because it's not actually going to be a dialogue and discussion. It's just going to be him with a platform. Maybe then that's a reason why they would be justified in, because they don't identify with that opinion. Therefore,
they don't share his opinion, and so they don't want to give him a forum. I get that. Again, for me. I realize I was once a little inconsistent on this stance, Pam. But I'll go back to my consistency of saying that I would have preferred to see that he got to speak out for a couple of reasons. One, I'm not afraid of, ideas. It sort of depends what he's doing, right? Like if he's going up there, it's like he was talking about his book, which presumably is about gendered pronouns. Or gender-neutral pronouns, I suppose.
Oh, we didn't do that kind of research.
We didn't, but I assume that's what his book is about, because why else would he be doing a book tour? Because he's known for one thing, and it's this thing. right?
Yeah, but
so I'm sure that's
Hang
what
on.
his book is on. If he's just talking about his book, then
Okay, sorry. As I'm Googling, the autocomplete, what is Jordan Peterson's, I was going to type book about. It auto-completed to IQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going down that rabbit trail.
At any rate, so I will say that he should be allowed to speak as long as he's not going up there and just being like, I hate people who want to use gender neutral pronouns and I think they should all be killed, and like inciting violence and whatever. I do know that there's spokespeople from the LGBTQ community who felt that perhaps his presence would embolden people who already harbor poor negative feelings towards that group of people, and they're probably right. But I also believe that stopping him from speaking and making this an issue also emboldens them, probably more so. I literally, this is the kind of thing that's usually on my radar. I literally had no idea this guy was even coming to town.
Yeah.
Right?
Now we know, because the Citadel made sure that everybody
and
knew.
now I know, right? Because what happens? He gets told you can't speak here, and he goes up and he goes to the media.
Yeah.
The media wouldn't have cared if it was just like, "Hey, I'm doing a book tour." They'd be like, "Okay, great,"
Okay. Now this takes a bit of air out of the Citadel's stance, because it's not about gender pronouns. Jordan Peterson, Maps of Meaning, the Architecture of Belief, and on Amazon here. Why have people from different cultures and eras formulated myths and stories with similar structures? What does this similarity tell us about the mind, morality, and the structure of the world itself? Jordan Peterson offers a provocative new hypothesis that explores the connection between what modern neuropsychology tells us about the brain and what rituals, myths, and religious stories have long narrated.
Right. This actually sounds interesting. I'll be honest with you. That is the kind of talk that I would actually maybe want to go see.
Cutting-edge work that brings together neuropsychology, cognitive science, and Freudian and Jungian approaches to mythology and narratives.
Right. So he's not talking
He's
about...
not even talking about
Yeah.
anything to do with gender pronouns. Better make sure that guy doesn't come and give a talk about anything. Now I'm actually even kind of miffed with the Citadel for just being a petulant child.
I'm already sort of miffed with him, just because I got my thing about just let people have their shitty opinions, right? I mean,
it doesn't hurt you because
it shouldn't.
He's not standing on a stage saying we should not be allowing any other pronouns. He took that one stance, and agree with it or not, it's not like he's become a crusader for that stance.
Yeah. Well, he was sort of a crusader for that stance. There's also
Was he?
Well, he's like the poster boy for it, right?
I feel like it was.
Because he's the only one.
Maybe
he's the only one who's really, as far as I know, gotten any real attention for saying something in Canada.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard about that stance or that response until today.
Oh, see, I at least knew who he was from other stuff. There was actually, I think it was I can't remember. It couldn't have been a professor. They couldn't have been tenured, but someone got canned from another university. Maybe this is why at the University of Waterloo. Maybe this took place at the University of Waterloo, where they played a video of Jordan Peterson. Talking about his opinion. I think it was like a lecture or something that he'd done, a talk, and so she played it in class, and she got in trouble for not prefacing it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, was that Jordan Peterson that was played?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. I think it was his speech that was played.
Okay, well, as long as we've done research about it.
Yeah, this is a hazy memory from 3 weeks ago. Something I heard on the radio.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it was him. Anyways, but either way. Even if he was going there to talk about his opinion,
yeah,
I'm fine with him doing that, as long as he's not going there to, it's a fine line. It's really hard, right? Is talking about your opinion, is airing your opinion the same thing as inciting people to necessarily believe the same thing as you, right?
No.
Am I trying to convince, if
I don't think it is. I mean, you really, to be inciting, I think you really have to.
Or am I just even trying to, like, maybe incite's not the right word, that's a little charged, like, just persuade, right? Like,
well, and I think persuasion is fine. Like, you can go out there and you can persuade people to have any opinion. It's
okay. So now we get into, like,
inciting violence.
So
is
then
the
we
bar,
get
right?
Yes and no. Like, I don't know what the bar is what I'm getting at right now, right? Like,
What is the bar?
what is the bar, right? Like, is a guy going out and talking about how, like, let's just pick like a racist guy. Like, some guy doesn't like black people. If we let him go on the stage and share his opinion of, I don't like black people and here's why I don't like black people, is that considered, like, is he trying to persuade people to agree with him? If he's
you're always trying to persuade people to agree with you just in conversation, right? So yes, he's trying to persuade people to have the same opinion as him.
So if we know that someone's got an opinion, let's
that you don't like.
Well, let's say he's got opinions that he's sort of basing on. You'll sort of see racists do this from time to time, where they sort of use, like, studies and science, and I'm using air quotes here, real hardcore, and to sort of back up their stuff. So basically, they're basing their opinion on something that is factually incorrect. So we know this. So do we allow them to spew things that are ignorant, hateful or not?
You have to allow it.
All right.
You can't not allow.
Like, what if it's not even a hate thing and they're just, like, teaching bad math?
But you have to allow it.
Why? What's the benefit of that? Like,
don't confuse. There is absolutely no benefit, and it is morally wrong.
Well, I think there's benefit to having open discussion about things that we, don't really know.
The problem is, we have all through human history have absolutely, in all certainty, known certain things.
That's true. I guess that's very true.
We knew that the Earth was the center of the universe, the sun revolved around it, and we killed people who disagreed with us.
Very true.
So who are we to say at this point in time we've finally come to absolutely know? Okay. That's my problem.
No, that's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, if we don't learn,
then my stance is I have no problem with them talking.
You gotta let people talk about things that you think are just bad crap crazy.
Yeah.
Because even if everybody but him thinks he's wrong, there is statistically a chance that he's right.
I suppose. That's true.
So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah,
no, that's a really good argument.
That's it.
That's a really good
we
point.
Can't stop being, and so then you have to, like, the idea of, like, having someone come.
Jeremy's on the ball today.
I'm working on getting off it.
FYI, you're doing real good.
It's about time.
Don't screw it up now.
Well, we'll see if this does it. So you have people coming and being totally racist and say, everybody from, I gotta pick a careful, Australians, they're all lower class beings. They're all, by virtue of where they live on the earth, they're lower intelligence and, like, stuff that sounds crazy to us. You have to let them come and say this stuff, and then you have to, as a society, just make sure they're in the minority.
I guess.
Like,
I think the right answer.
About it, and
so the answer really, and I think I sort of knew this anyway, is you have to let everyone have the floor, because that is how the dialogue happens, right? So you let the anti-Australian guy speak, and then you let someone to sort of counter that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think maybe if he was coming here, if Jordan Peterson was coming here to speak about the pronoun thing,
like on Bourbon Zeppelins,
like just to the Citadel, let's say, or here, we could probably get him to Skype in or something like that.
That would be fantastic.
I just think just having someone who was willing to debate him would maybe, like, I think that's what these controversial guys need to do, is just to be like, look, just let's have, and not even necessarily a formal debate where we have like a winner and a loser and a moderator.
No, discussions.
But just a discussion. Him and someone who disagrees with him, who is not going to scream at him.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the important part. Like,
someone who's going to let him talk, and then someone who's going to also talk and be allowed to speak. And that's it. Right? Like, that's like civil discourse is all I'm asking for here, right? And even if
that's a lot.
I know. And even if it's like one of them speaks for 30 minutes and then the other one speaks for 30 minutes and then they have a discussion, maybe. That would be an interesting thing to watch. I often see like atheists getting into like debates with religious folks, and they are too formal and too stilted, and it's like you have 2 minutes. Do you rebut? It's using like rules of debate engagement.
Yeah, and you can't, because not everybody's well enough versed in the rules of debate to be able to do that effectively, because a formal debate is actually about winning an argument, and there there's place and time for that.
I don't need to see a winner or a loser. I would rather see the discussion, hear the discussion, see what people are thinking, because then you can make your own opinion based on that.
Pam pointed out we should make an app for this or something.
An app for civil discourse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was one on the Kickstarter. We could relaunch that. We'll just steal the idea.
It didn't fly.
It did not get funded. Because, as we pointed out, it was fundamentally flawed.
It's not going to work. But I think the answer there is just in society having and encouraging attitudes to listen and hear out opinions that are different than yours, even opinions and viewpoints that you vehemently disagree with. Listen, consider. There's no way.
We should send him an email and say, if you're going to be around, come by. We'll let you do your whole talk on our show, just to us and whoever's watching.
And we'll put it up on YouTube later to our 13 subscribers.
We'll put it on YouTube like a week and a half later, whenever I remember to upload it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That was yesterday. Sorry, I totally forgot. And then, but like getting it, because man, that would be a good media boost for us.
That would be. We gotta get Jordan Peterson.
What do you guys think? Should we try to get Jordan Peterson on the show?
Yeah, but
we should just try to get like lots of controversial people on the show.
Just media buzz. Yeah. It's all about media buzz. I agree. Anyway, so people getting all up in arms about we shouldn't let people talk about spouting their silly ideas. You got to let them talk about it, and you got to reevaluate why listening to people who have different ideas and values is a good opportunity.
Keeps you in check.
To work through why you believe something different.
Yep.
Check off. Okay, this is what you say. This is why I believe something different about it.
I fall into this trap all the time where I'm like, oh, I don't want to listen to this guy because I disagree with him so much, right? And then I remember I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Like not that I think this guy's gonna convince me, right? But I'm like, okay, I should at least listen to what the other side thinks.
Yeah.
What do they believe? Why do they believe it? And then I can sort of look into it myself and still form my own opinion. I think that's what a lot of people don't do. Like a lot of people do it on the surface, right?
But they don't know why they're forming that opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of it's just
or they form it over feelings that aren't
worldview bias, basically. Where if something fits your worldview, then you just automatically accept it as being true, and the opposite if it doesn't.
It's like confirmation bias.
Yeah. It's like a specific form. It's a specific form of confirmation bias, but yes, it is that. But you got to sort of remind yourself. This is why I don't get rid of like unfriend people on Facebook who I think have highly offensive. I know I looked at you. I didn't mean to. Who have highly offensive beliefs. I won't get rid of them, despite the fact they are flooding my my news feed on Facebook because I don't want to be that guy who winds up in an echo chamber, who only hears the things that he wants to hear because, man, then you just don't learn anything.
Yeah. If you can't hear something. So
I had a friend of mine, like a real life friend of mine, and we were friends on Facebook.
in real life,
I've known her since junior high. You know her. I'm not going to say her name on the show, but I'll tell you after.
okay.
But she had posted a thing about Big Pharma and how they are holding back the cancer
cure.
and
knew
follow
it.
the money and stuff like that. And so it was like a Sunday morning, and I was bored, so I responded to it, and I felt very polite about it, though firm. And then
You're not her friend anymore on Facebook, are you?
No, she unfriended me like the next day. Like the post came down,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, that sucks," because I even sort of apologized. Like, I was like, "Look," at the end, I was like, "I hope this doesn't come across as being too harsh. I just feel strongly about this, and I've outlined why." Right?
Yeah.
And then there was no response, and then I noticed maybe 20 minutes later that the initial post was gone, and then we were no longer friends after that. And I felt really terrible because she's really nice.
Yeah. So,
And it's a shame that we can't just have a difference of opinion without someone wanting to unfriend you.
which is why we try.
Which is sort of what this whole thing is about.
That's why we're here tonight.
Because if Jeremy and I didn't do this show, we wouldn't be friends.
Pretty much. I don't know. Yeah. Listen to people with different opinions, with different worldviews. Let them have their worldviews. Understand why you think and feel and believe the way you do.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah. We've driven that point into the ground.
Well, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's get on to some Kickstarter crystal ball.
Hey, we're only 14 minutes into the show.
We're only 14 minutes in. Oh, right. We had to start it twice today.
Yes. I gotta find my words. But that's okay, because this show is really, at its heart, about Kickstarters.
We're kicking something or other. Okay, Kickstarter crystal ball. We're going to start with Soul Development. Oh, right. These guys are the guys that...
Sorry, I'm so backwards here.
Get with it.
Okay, no, I got it. We're
Okay,
good.
yeah. Disrupt hopelessness, which that's a great hashtag, which I'm not sure is conveying. I'm not sure it has as much behind it as you'd hope for something like disrupt hopelessness.
I don't.
So they want to kickstart the mastering of an album.
Correct.
Seem like nice people. Seem like they have good ideas. They currently, I don't know how much of that we want to rehash.
Their goal was 10 grand. Last week they were at 1752.
They've got some more.
Okay.
We're doing this in U.S. funds.
I don't know. I didn't actually. Probably all the ones that I put down today, because I realized I wasn't tracking the currency. They're all just in Canadian.
They're okay. So they had 17 Canadian.
No. Sorry, the new ones are all going to be in Canadian. These other ones, maybe we can change the new ones, but I think the old ones were all in whatever currency they were in. So if it was like U.S., it was U.S. dollars.
Swiss francs. We
had the Swiss francs one.
Okay. So
I don't know which one you think is better. I have all these ones down in Canadian, so the numbers are all weird for the new ones.
You need to start including currency on our tracking sheet, like the currency sign.
Well, yeah, but if I just switch them all to Canadian, I just know they're all in Canadian. Except that total might change from week to week.
Yeah.
Month to month.
Well, and the goal will change too.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, okay, maybe we'll switch them. So I'll add a currency.
Flying by the seat of our pants, people.
No, that's fair. I'm going to have to put all these numbers
they're at
back in.
$24.89 of 10,000, so they've gotten a little bit more.
Okay. I'm also tracking. I've added a few more things to the spreadsheet for us to track.
Oh, we got to fill in more information.
Yeah, well, not today. We can't do it with these last week's. Well, we can sort of do, but I also want to track what percentage they had of their goal, like today, like the day of.
Yeah.
And then what percentage of their goal a week later. to see if there's any correlation between that first week funding.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because that's something that we wanted to track. Actually, we can because this is from
statistical
last
analysis is in this show.
Right.
We actually we're going to teach you predictive analysis.
So this is good. This is an easy one to do in my head. This is 24.89%. I'm so glad. 24.89. Yeah.
I'll just mention that Pam points out that she misses this week in gun violence.
We kind of don't.
That was getting depressing.
Did I see gun violence this week?
I don't
recall seeing any. To be fair, I've sort of been focusing on other things in my life that aren't reading about
gun violence.
Well, I've been sort of following the news as close as I have.
I was seriously getting depressed about that.
It's sad. It's all very sad.
What the crap is this?
I don't know.
Emma Team?
Oh,
that's new. Sorry.
That's new. Don't do that one. So the next one
Edit
is
that out. Okay.
Type 1 writers.
Type 1 writers. Oh, this is the one.
She's getting there.
This is the one we're going to fund. It's going to make it.
Yeah, we won't even have to.
We won't even have to. She's got 240 pounds today out of her 320-pound goal. That's pounds sterling.
Okay.
Not that she's...
What she's at?
240.
She's at 240. Okay.
Yeah. That's not like a weight goal. This is... what was she at last week?
I just... hold on. I just overwrote it. 175.
Oh!
So...
That's a good
bump.
That's a good bump. So Canadian 411 out of her 548.
What's the percentage? Can I hover this?
We've got to back her less than $150 by now. That's...
Yeah, and this goes till February 8th, 9th.
This is the one where we're going to fly to London and have lunch with her.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Equals 2.
That's fantastic.
Sorry, I'm doing math over here. She's at 75% of her goal after 1 week.
And Pam is still very critical of her.
That's fine.
Come on, Pam. It's a great project.
UK bucks. Oh, I did actually also add the shoulds. So now we can say, should this be funded and will this be funded?
That's right. Because we're going to have
and I know last week we both said that should be funded, so I have us both down for shoulds on that.
Good.
So the next one's Blitz.
Blitz Wolf.
This is the Bluetooth speaker.
Pam says we should meet her in Vegas. Is there a London version of... No, is there a Vegas version of London?
Probably. There's Paris.
I was going to say there's Paris.
Maybe there's not a London.
Maybe we could make one.
They must have don't they have like a Camelot or something? They must.
Camelot?
Yeah.
I seriously understood camel lot.
Yeah. You know, where you go and buy used camels. That's clearly what I was asking.
Yep.
Oh, I guess I could do the math on these. I could have done the math on these week 1 ones.
Blitzwolf. More than just a speaker, it's an artwork.
One whole artwork.
So, boy, oh boy.
Wow. Okay. So last week they were at $31.92 of their 50,000 Hong Kong dollar goal. They are at 18,418.
That's
right
a
now.
good bump for a week.
Big jump.
So there's a lot of people who want this shiny aluminum brick.
There's a lot of people out there who don't know that you can just go buy Bluetooth speakers already
on Amazon
that probably look similar to that.
Because these ones are expensive too. That's my problem. Is the Bluetooth?
Yeah, this isn't.
No,
this
sorry.
This is overpriced.
I fundamentally don't have a use for a Bluetooth speaker. I have one.
I have 2.
I never use it. I have Sonos speaker players through my house.
Oh yeah.
I use those all the time, every day. They're brilliant.
People love the Sonos stuff.
There's any of the network players have so much more functionality than just a standalone Bluetooth speaker. The Bluetooth speakers are a bad invention.
I just don't have any music in my life, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me. Anyways, we both. I had that down as should not get funded. Did you? You didn't. I don't know your opinion on that.
It should not get funded.
Okay, this isn't the kind of thing that should be kickstarted.
This is not the kind of thing that should be kickstarted.
That's right. That's sort of what I thought, but I was like,
in case my derisive
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
attitude wasn't obvious enough. Did we say it will? Do we think it will?
I said yes, and you said no.
You might be right.
I don't want to be.
I don't want you to be either, but still have 3 weeks on this, and they've got just under half right now funded, right? So
they're at 36.84%.
wow, my head math is bad.
Yeah. So they're not, they're around a third of the way there, just over.
All right.
Okay, so time for some new ones.
Oh, we're on some new ones.
Start with, because I have these up in a different order. No, I don't. I have my sheet down here in the wrong order. Okay, so...
Is your sheet the same sheet as my sheet?
No, well, I'm using the...
the spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet.
Not the show notes.
And for whatever reason, I put them in the spreadsheet in a different order than I put them in the thing.
So two buckets?
We're starting with 2 buckets.
Okay, we're starting with 2 buckets.
So 2 buckets is a mobile app. So we have a lot of more technology stuff this week. We've got a bunch of new ones, as you can see at the top. We're going through all of those. So let me close that down. We don't need...
Oh, good grief. Yeah,
we don't
perfect.
need Blitzwolf open.
Done with that one?
Okay, so this is 2 buckets. It's a mobile app that will collect volunteers with organizations that need help. You tell us when, we tell you where. So the overview of this app is basically as if I'm volunteering for something, I put in my availability for volunteering, and then places that need volunteers have their version of the app where they put in when they need people to volunteer, and then if there's a match, it connects you.
It's like Tinder for volunteering.
It is Tinder volunteering.
Tinder-teering.
Sure. Volunteering. Voluntinder.
Okay.
Hopefully all Tindering is volunteer. Hopefully.
That's a different app.
Yeah, here, we'll play that.
Otherwise.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for visiting my Kickstarter
Oh,
today.
yeah, I really
my name
gotta
is
turn
Katie
this
and
down.
I am incredibly excited to talk to you about a new app I'm developing called
muting
2
it.
Buckets. 2 Buckets will revolutionize the
And
way...
I gotta turn the desktop audio way down because I forgot how loud it is comparatively. So we're not actually listening to the audio of this, but I'll let you guys listen to the audio. This is Katie. She is a mother of 3, husband of 1, lover of volunteering and dogs, I think she said.
So she's not in Utah.
Who's to say?
Oh, wait a minute. No, she would always be a wife of 1.
Yes. She might have many sister wives. We don't know.
Right,
so she's not asking for... Well, actually, no. I was going to say she's not asking for a lot here. She's asking for 50,000 American dollars. And I should mention that I've actually seen a version of this app before. Not 2 buckets specifically, but it was this kind of exact thing. It was the exact same concept, and I feel like it was based out of... It was like an Edmonton version of it. And I don't know if it's still around. I can't remember what it was called.
There was, I remember.
But it was like 4 years ago. Something like that?
Yeah.
About?
Yep.
So I don't know anyone. I know lots of people who volunteer. I don't know anyone who uses it.
No.
I can't even remember what it's called. But that being said, I do like the idea.
I love the
it makes a
idea.
lot of sense, right?
Yep.
Like this really fills a gap.
There's
Here,
Katie.
We can just take a look at Katie. Volunteer, teacher, mom of 3, wife to 1, and aspiring app creator. So,
Does that mean she knows anything about
nope.
development?
No, it does not. That's a pretty clear indication that she knows nothing about, that she's not a developer.
Oh, yeah.
So she's asking...
But it's okay, because she's teamed with an incredibly talented group of tech wizards in New York City
who are ready to bring 2 buckets to life once we hit our goal.
What's she based out of? Let's go take a look at Katie. Maplewood, New Jersey. Okay, so New York.
Close enough.
Okay, well, that's not so bad. Sounds like she's got hookups and she's being, I don't want to say held hostage. I understand, She was probably quoted 50 grand by these guys. And she's like, okay, I'll go see if I can kickstart $50,000. Not the worst reason to kickstart something like this.
Yeah, sure.
At least it sounds like she's got people who can make it.
Well, it doesn't
This isn't even that hard an app to make.
Throw it on the wall, and no, it's
there's not a lot going on here.
It's
technologically speaking, this is pretty straightforward.
Tech whizzy wise, we can probably define that scope
Really quick, yeah. What does she have? 5576. Sorry, I'm just taking notes here.
So
5576.
all right, so she's got 44 days to go,
Yeah.
and she's
Oops.
just over 10% of
Yeah.
the way there.
She's like at 11, close to 12%. Not that.
Yeah, that's just over 10.
Yeah. I wasn't disagreeing with you. I'm just
My math holds.
cool. Yeah. So she's at 11.15% on day 1.
This is day 1?
Yep. This is a 45-day-long deal.
Yeah. So, okay, now talking about the product specifically, I'm iffy on the product because if I want to volunteer, I'm not sure that I'm looking to volunteer or get an app to do that, right?
Yeah.
Unless this gets tons of independent advertising.
I think if they get the organizations to buy into it and they tell people use the app
yeah.
to sort of schedule stuff.
But then why doesn't the organization just tell people come sign up for us?
Right, because now they're sort of in competition with the other places.
And presumably the organizations are going to have to pay some sort of a fee to advertise.
Man, I would actually hope not.
Well, where's the revenue model?
I don't know. I don't think there is one. I don't think there should be one for this, really. You know what I mean? I know what you're getting at.
You know that these people have to eat, right?
Well, she's
who's
a
gonna make...
mother of 3,
right?
And she volunteers, needs money. So she's fine.
Oh, okay. Well,
2 buckets will offer no fewer than 2 opportunities for you to choose from. Man, where are they getting this data from?
How is
right?
that?
So there's a little bit of a little snafu here. I don't know where she's getting this data from.
Yeah, so
this is all about buy-in. If no one buys in,
it's not going in.
50 grand or not, 100 grand. You can put $1 million into this. If no one uses it,
it's not going to fly.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and this is my take on this whole thing. Is it's a wonderful, wonderful idea, and I don't think it gets air.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So you're saying should and won't.
I don't know that it won't get kickstarted.
Oh, sorry, that's not what you're. Okay, sorry, I thought that's what you were saying.
Even if my take is, even if it gets built, it's going to die.
Oh yeah. I don't think that this is.
Unfortunately.
I don't think this is This is going to be a successful product if it gets made.
I don't think so, and I think that's a shame. But I can't even put a finger on why it's not going to be successful. It's just I think there's
because people who volunteer already sort of know
where they want to volunteer.
Yeah, that's part of it too, right? I didn't see anything. I actually did read through this earlier a little bit, but I didn't see anything in there that says you get to choose, that you get to put in what kind of volunteer work you're looking for.
Yeah, who knows,
right?
What kind of stuff?
Maybe I don't want to do Meals for Wheels, or maybe there's a charity that I just don't like. A lot of people volunteer for stuff that has a personal connection to them.
Yeah.
right? And they don't volunteer for stuff that they don't. And so this app doesn't really solve that
That's
problem,
what it is.
right?
That's exactly what it is. If I'm going to actually volunteer my time, I have to have a connection to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to. I think it would be very tough for them to produce opportunities that I can personally connect to. Although I don't know, maybe if they solve that, like the ability to connect, to get that like personal connection.
Yeah.
Pam points out there's a ton of organizations that are begging for volunteers and not enough volunteers to go around.
That's true.
So maybe that's actually the better way for this to launch is if tons of organizations like just if they only that's what it should be is if they only pay if someone chooses them to volunteer for. That's your revenue model right there.
Maybe. Like, you can't ask them to pay for a lot. Like, the reason they're getting volunteers is because they can't pay.
Well, they
people.
can't pay. But I mean, if it's like a $3 fee or something, right?
No,
there, right?
yeah. I'm just saying
Right?
it depends
So-
on what it is.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
I want 10
it could
volunteers.
be a buck, I guess, and that would
Yeah.
probably be fine.
I want 10 volunteers.
Yeah.
So put it out, and if 5 volunteers actually choose that organization to volunteer for, $5 gets
Yeah.
debited out of their account
Yeah,
or whatever.
That's not terrible. That's not bad.
and then they can post it, and maybe it gets hit, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah. I will say, Pam, though, like
that could actually maybe fly.
like so
Wow.
so Pam brings up that there's a lot of places that are desperate for volunteers.
And
There's
brilliant.
also a lot of places that have like a waiting list for volunteers. Like you can't go just volunteer for the SPCA, like the Humane Society. Waiting list, huge list. You can't just walk in and be like, I want to volunteer. They're like, okay, here's the
Really?
list. Ronald McDonald House. That's really hard to get into. There's a list for that. So there are people out there who want to volunteer. And this goes back to what I say. People want to volunteer for the things that mean something to them and not just anything. There's a lot of people who volunteer who just aren't, they're volunteering for this thing because they like this thing.
Because that's, yeah.
But they aren't volunteering because I just want to volunteer for something, but I don't know what.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm sure those people exist, but I'm just saying a lot of them.
it's going after the people who are like, I'm bored. I need something to do.
I've got spare time.
I want to volunteer. I want to find something to volunteer.
Yeah,
my
I want
time
to do
with.
something meaningful or
Maybe
whatever
there
it
are.
is. And there are people. I'm sure that there are people out there who are like that. But I also think that those people.
It's not me.
I
have no time.
I also believe that those people know where to look to go find opportunities to volunteer already. But maybe I'm wrong. I could be way off base here. Like, I think this is the kind of thing that should get kickstarted. I would like to see, if it gets kickstarted, I would like to see it succeed. I just don't think it will.
Okay.
But I'm gonna, in terms of do I think this is gonna get kickstarted, I will say, I'm gonna go with yes.
I'm going to say yes.
I think it's a risky yes, because 50 grand's a big ask, and I don't think the rewards are really great because they start, and and I get that this is like an app for getting people to volunteer, so maybe these people don't necessarily need stuff, but like the kind of people who would kickstart this. But this is for $25. You get your name in the app and on the social media pages. For $50, you get a koozie, which is cool. $100, you get a tote bag, and for $150, you get all that in a T-shirt.
I like T-shirts.
Give her $150. You can get a T-shirt with probably not the greatest logo on it. I can't even find it.
It's not a bad one.
It's not.
What did you do with the logo?
I played the video, so the thumbnail's gone.
Oh,
Anywho,
well, there's a problem.
yeah.
Okay, so
I'm just saying, like, she might be in a little trouble with this reward system. Although she does have 7 at 25, I guess we can see. 5 at 50, 6 at 100, 13 at 150. So
it's the T-shirt.
I am way
It's
off
the
base.
T-shirt.
So maybe I'm way off base here. But yeah.
I wonder if she's got connections that can.
Well, she does have a professional photograph here. Like, this isn't just a selfie.
No, that's
You know, and I don't. Maybe we could Google her, see if she's got like social media presence.
Incognito tab, here we come.
Yeah, Katie Rickard. She's like, maybe she's got like a bunch of followers on Twitter or something. If she's got a big enough social media presence, that'll help a lot. Maybe she knows some bloggers or something. This is another one of those things where I think if you get it in front of the right audience, I think it'll fund pretty easy.
Yep.
You know, and especially, you know, her being a mom of 3, she probably knows a bunch of other moms, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not a mom, but I'd assume that she knows other parents who would also share the same values as her, and they know 2 people, and they know 2 people, and so on. All right, so while Jeremy's doing that, I'll just move on to the next one and sort of explain it. This is Emma Team. Hold on, let me Google Translate this. Not that that changes that word, but at least changes the rest of it. Emma Team, I guess. This is Spanish. I think that's Spanish. I don't actually know.
Multi-streaming platform.
It is a multi-streaming platform, so I picked this one because
Where's the donate button?
it is halfway relevant to what Jeremy and I do. For those of you who've never streamed anything and you don't know, when you stream something, basically without a bunch of technical know-how for the most part, it is very difficult to stream to more than one platform at once. So you sort of have to pick one. Am I going to stream to Facebook? Am I going to stream to YouTube? Am I going to stream to Twitch? Am I going to stream to Periscope?
And how many video sources are you using?
Yeah.
And where? Yeah.
Well, beyond like what the setup in your room, there's also like how do I stream to multiple places? So there are.
It actually took me a little bit. This is all in Spanish.
Yeah, you gotta hit the translate button. That's what I had to do on the one. Yeah. So anyway, so the way this works is I had to we made a decision. We were initially going to be doing this show on Twitch, and then we did one show that streamed to YouTube because we thought YouTube would be a better fit for this format of show. And then I put out a poll. And 100% of respondents said, do it on Facebook, because one person replied, and they said, do it on Facebook.
Was that Pam?
I have no idea who answered that. Probably my mom.
But your mom hasn't figured out how to watch us on Facebook.
I understand that, but not live.
Okay.
But she's watched us after the fact. She's
on
watched
Facebook or on YouTube?
On Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it works, like the archive stuff works for her, but
60% of the time, it works every time.
Anyways,
okay.
So there is. So if you want to stream to more than one, we can set up a server, like a local server, and send our stream there, and then that we can send out multiple streams, basically.
We can do magic because we work with computers every
we're
single day.
tech guys, so we can sort of do this.
But even for us, when we were figuring this stuff out,
and it's still a pain in the ass. I would prefer not to do it. We don't do it because it's a pain. So there are services that already exist. There's Restream.io that basically does this, and this guy Emma Team, don't know, but basically it allows us. Emit me, sure. Whatever. So they do exactly what I just described. So they would allow us to stream to Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and VidMe maybe and Periscope. I don't know what their list is. I saw it somewhere. Probably in the video.
Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. There's a setting or a section here for OBS studio
you're on
settings.
their website.
Yeah,
yeah, that's where I saw it. Okay, it was on their website. That's why it's not here.
Yeah,
I'll
so
play
Twitch,
the little
Facebook,
video.
Periscope, YouTube.
This is probably actually. I'm just gonna turn this on. Okay, you got a Spanish video, guys. So I hope this answers all of your questions.
Don't ask us anymore about it. already played.
Yeah, so this is the kind of thing that there is, like from Jeremy and my perspective, there's a need for something like this. Sorry, 16,350 euros. Now the thing is, this is already
That's a strange goal.
that is a weird, yeah. It is so there are a couple of things. So like I say, services like this already exist. Secondly, I think these guys already have a fully fledged company that people are already using. So I'm not entirely sure what it is they're kickstarting. What's their goal here? Sorry, and I did try to find this. Yeah, like it doesn't really say what they want this 16,350 for. The risks and challenges are like, how much is it? Like, if we wanted to use it, we could buy it now for 150 euros a year.
Okay, but that... Oh, that's... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you save 2 months going annual above the versatile. You save 30 euros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it would allow us to stream to multiple places. Now, for us, I probably have issues with this because I imagine all their servers are in Europe. So we'd be streaming to Europe, and then it would be streaming out from Europe. But there's Restream. Like you've seen Restream.io,
Yep.
right? So they do a similar sort of thing. And so this is kind of a weird product, I think. This one in particular, because if you go to the website, they very clearly are an established company. They have...
They're not going to make it, and they shouldn't.
No, like I don't think that they should get funded, and I don't believe that they will get funded. Now, what they're getting is easy, or their percentage is easy because it is 0, because they have 0 contributors, $0, right? 0 backers. So nice and easy. So for $5, this is my favorite. If you pledge $5 without, let me scroll away, Jeremy. What do you think?
$5.
Oh, you're already looking. What do you get for $5? You get a free trial.
Wait a minute. I just saw on the website I can have a 15-day trial
For free?
for free.
Right. Well, you can still get that here. You can get that on the Kickstarter as long as you give them a minimum of €5.
I wonder if it actually works. Like, do they have a function?
It must. Well, okay, so their
Or
marketing...
maybe they just put up a website and it doesn't actually function.
Their marketing talks about how they have customers who already use it, so...
Then what are they...
I don't know what they're funding.
The creation of a mobile application.
Oh, maybe that's what they're funding.
To blah blah blah. Yabba blah. Here. Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, so for $5 you get the free trial. For $60, €60, you get a 6-month subscription.
So you...
I don't know if that's at the versatile level or the basic level, so that determines whether or not that's a good deal. For €100, you get 12 months. You get a year. That's basic. That's not the versatile level. €180, you get 24 months. That's probably also basic. So if you don't go to their website, if you only see them on Kickstarter...
Which they link in the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I know. But if you don't click on that link, you won't see that you're getting shafted by supporting them on the Kickstarter. So maybe...
But so are they, because... You know what this is? They don't care if they get funded. They just want
This is
to
advertising.
drive. This is advertising.
Yeah, this is.
It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah. This is free advertising for them, and we fell for it.
Oh, I feel like such a fool.
Whatever. Screw these dicks.
On we go.
All right. So the next one. This is my favorite one.
Luxury driving loafers.
Oh, I did that in the wrong order. Let me move that over. Yes. This is not my favorite one. This is my second favorite one. But this is a good one also.
Well, they're in Australia, so we know they're already like criminal.
AU.
Premium genuine leathers and suedes.
Oh, $5,000. That's weird that I actually had that. And then 810 is what they're at.
These are so these are like,
So
yeah.
doing math again. Sorry.
Luxury driving. Oh, this is like they're for driving. The loafers themselves don't drive.
No. There's no wheels.
I'm
on these
immediately
loafers.
way less interested.
Yeah, no. They're just little shoes. I don't remember why I picked these specifically. There was
Because they're
something.
shoes.
Well, but there was something about them that sort of stuck out to me. But okay, so you get a pair for 180 Australian dollars. So that's like around 180 Canadian dollars
I thought they were fairly close. Right?
for these.
Hmm.
Now I buy a fair amount of shoes. I even buy shoes that cost $180. I would not spend $180 on shoes like this.
I feel like not so much.
That feels
Oh,
like a-
they've got polka dots and leopard skin.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's going to fund the
Ah, you get fancy colors.
hunting the polka dot.
Black pebble leather. Okay, so they do have some cool looking ones, to be fair.
Camo.
I mean, I wouldn't wear these. To be honest, I wouldn't do camo. I don't like their polka dot. I don't like the leopard skin.
Pam doesn't spend that much on shoes.
No, it's amazing, Pam. Like, I used to not, and I don't all the time. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like every pair of shoes I own is like $200. But the first time I got like a $200 pair of shoes, there's a difference. There's a real difference, and you might not realize it until you own a pair, and you're like, these are the most amazing shoes I've ever owned. Like, I've never spent $200 on a pair of shoes and been like, these feel like, a $60 pair of shoes. That has never happened.
No.
Super comfortable. If you like comfy shoes, spend money on them. So this is another thing, I think, where this brand exists, right? Like, these guys have a company.
Even Kane?
Yeah. I don't see a link anywhere, but
They were at least smarter, or dumber, depending on what they were
smarter
trying
or
to.
dumber, yeah. But I imagine if I wanted to, I could just go buy these shoes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, they have a...
they must have like a web store or something. So
Yep.
$180 for one
Evenkane.com.
pair.
As seen in Hey Gents, GQ and Broad Street.
Sure.
Shipping to United States, Australia, Canada, UK, and others.
They do ship anywhere in the world, they say.
All right.
It's free delivery to Canada. I just don't buy shoes online.
Oh, dude. Is that...
Okay, what? Oh, you can buy the polka dot ones.
Oh, this is pre-order.
Oh, you can
But
pre-order.
you can pre-order them for $150.
American.
American. Okay, so is that sort of the same?
No.
It's not far off.
I will let the internet tell me.
Interesting.
US to Canadian 149, 150 we'll say. Oh, not 1450.
And these are definitely their most expensive shoes on their website.
Oh, it's actually
Oh, no, they've got a whole bunch of them on sale for $100 US.
yeah, it's so 150 US is 186, so 187.
So-
About the same.
So about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's a whole bunch of them that are on sale for $100 on their website. And they're not pre-ordering.
Right. Okay. So this is another dumb one. This is another. Hey guys, we have a company. Let's kickstart something.
Pay us more on Kickstarter
Yeah.
than what you can just flat out order them for online.
So I'm gonna say no, and no for the shoulds. So
This should not.
the question
It
is,
might actually.
will they?
It might.
So they are currently sitting at 16% of their funding.
Those turkeys. Well, 16% with 3 backers. So 3 people have fallen for it.
Yeah. So what's
Whoa! Someone pledged for 3 pairs.
Good job, guy. Calculator. So if we do
This is ridiculous.
5,000 divided by 180. They only need 28 backers. That's it.
They've
they-
got 28 days to go.
Yeah, they've got 3 backers. I guess I should. Yeah. And that's at this price, at this 180.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like obviously it would be less for the 450.
Are they going to get it? Those sneaky little
Maybe.
monkeys? They might.
Okay, so was it 5,000 divided by 450? Well, that's way less. That's they need 12 backers at this spot. So yeah,
Risks and challenges. All materials and production times have been discussed with our factory. There are no risks involved.
because we've already made.
Because we
these
already
shoes.
sell this stuff. There may be a delay of maximum 1 week.
Oh, these guys. So I think these guys are gonna. This falls under the.
They should.
We
not.
already have a product and an established company.
I wonder if they're going to.
They're 16% of the way there. I think they'll make it. I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, because
I think they'll make it too. You and I are pretty consistent today.
dorks.
All right, so that was the
Pam's right.
luxury.
Vans are cooler.
Vans are cooler. I don't like these shoes. I don't like this particular style of shoe anyway. But
It's growing on me. But I'm not buying those ones.
no,
On principle.
right?
Yeah.
Like these. Yeah, I wouldn't spend $180 on these. I don't know.
Right. So,
So the next one. This is like one of my favorite ones I've ever seen. I did not. Nope, not that one.
what? Which one are you? That's the only one we got
Oh, you
left.
skipped
Oh,
one.
I skipped one. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
I did have him in order.
You did have them in. I messed up the order.
I thought I was wrong. Okay. I want a Big Boy Restaurant statue. Oh, it's canceled already. Oh,
no!
someone actually backed it for $20. I wonder if it was just to say something. So this wasn't canceled this morning.
It was canceled 3 hours ago.
Son of a gun.
Oh, I want one of those. I have been a fan of Big Boy restaurants all my life. The few happy childhood memories that I have were spent there. This guy sounds a little sad.
This is the most depressing
No matter what
Kickstarter.
was going on in my personal or family life, all those problems would suddenly disappear when we entered a Big Boy restaurant.
Right?
This has gone on well into my adult life, as I can always count on the brief time that I spend at one of those restaurants, no matter where it is located, to be happy.
So what I learned today is that Big Boy Restaurants still exist someplace. There used to be one downtown. Hasn't been there forever. But Big Boy Restaurants are still a thing elsewhere. Their food doesn't look great anymore, but yeah, it was probably great. I did enjoy it when I was a kid. I also had happy memories there. Thankfully, not my only happy memories. And then both his parents died in 2012, or he lost them. I assume that means died in 2012. So no more new memories made there as a family. If he had his own Big Boy statue, he will always be reminded of the happy times spent there. He can't afford to buy a statue, so
I am on a fixed
he
income
is
and cannot
straight up just asking for $3,500
To buy one.
to buy a statue.
Oh, is there a GoFundMe for this guy?
I don't know. I didn't bother to look. Anthony E. Ventrello. Let's just start page
Well, it's not going to be in the Canadian GoFundMe.
new.
Oh, I want a big boy statue.
I'll look at LinkedIn. Maybe it's the same guy.
Yeah. Risks and challenges. There are no risks involved. You will help someone fulfill a lifelong dream that was started early in my childhood. Wow. If my money weren't already committed to Type 1 writers,
I feel like you'd have to put up a bit more than $100 to get this guy across the finish line.
to pull him across the finish line, yeah. I like that someone...
Yeah, 'cause this guy was going to be done, just in a month. He only had a 29-day.
Okay, well...
That was one of my favorite ones. I was
That's
so
a-
sad.
That's definitely a should, but it's not going to.
Well, obviously it's not because it got canceled.
God canceled.
Or he canceled
Oh, that's... Okay.
Okay, so next is... This is a weird one.
It's not starting off good here.
The My Contacts
My
app,
contact... I've got that already.
right?
Or don't I?
Do you own a phone? So, what if you lost your phone? How many of your contacts do you actually have memorized, Jeremy?
None.
Right. So if you lose your phone, how do you phone anybody?
From any phone and make calls as if they were using their cell. What? Hang on.
So there's a lot of things going on with this app. So how many contacts do you have memorized on your phone? Imagine a situation where your phone's lost, broken, out of battery. You need to call someone from your contacts to give you a ride, let them know if you're going to be late, but you don't remember their numbers. So it's a cloud-based contact system. So you just store your contact information for people on a server. So if I don't have a phone and I'm in the middle of nowhere, do I just whip out my laptop that to be fair, I do carry around a laptop everywhere, but like most people don't. And my laptop also needs wireless if I'm going to connect to the internet if I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot. This guy really didn't think through his main use case.
This already exists. It's a cloud-based platform where on the initial download, the user uploads their contacts onto our secure system. In the event that the user needs to access their contacts for any reason, it doesn't matter what
It doesn't have to be an emergency. You don't have to be
but
stranded
does not
in the
have their
middle.
phone. They can use the My Contacts on any mobile device or computer, and then by entering their secure username and password, access their contacts. This exists. This is any number of mobile accounts.
Yeah.
Most notably, Gmail.
Yep.
All right.
Right, but if I don't have my phone, Jeremy.
Gmail they've got the internet for computers now, you know.
What? Get out.
Oh, this guy, this needs to go up for the obvious Project of the Year award.
Yeah, I was like really confused when I read this. Like at
Like
first
the-
I was just like, well, first of all, I have a contacts app. I don't know why I want a new one. And I was like,
Because My Contacts app does store my contacts in the cloud.
and then I was just like, all the numbers that I would call in an emergency, I have memorized. I only need to know like 3. I only need to know 2.
And one of them's you.
So I was counting. The third one was me. I actually don't know my work phone number off by heart, but
I finally do. It took a while, but
I do not. But yeah, I was just like, this is ridiculous. And he's only asking for $5,000, so I don't even know what he's paying.
don't worry. He'll handle the marketing, customer service, and daily operations. He's going to handle.
So okay, so he's using the funding to contract out an app developer. So this guy. So this guy
Oh, we should not have left this one to last.
who doesn't know how to doesn't understand computers and the internet, I don't think, is like, you know what I need? An app that stores contacts. The one on my phone,
Not good enough.
not hacking
Well,
it.
you know, like he's got like a BlackBerry or something, and it stores locally.
A BB10.
A BB10 or something, and it just stores his contacts locally, and it happened to him once, and he doesn't notice that every phone now stores your contacts. It syncs them to your cloud account, whether that's an Apple ID or a Google ID
Yeah.
or a Samsung account or
Yep.
any
Now,
number.
even if you just wanted to have, like, it's a little convoluted, I think, trying to get access to that information with your Apple ID.
No, Pam, we're not going to develop apps for these yahoos.
No. Well, okay, could I write this app for $5,000? Sure. But this guy has no budget for infrastructure.
Wait a minute. These apps have to go on servers?
Yeah. What do you mean the cloud's not actually a cloud? They're everywhere.
The internet doesn't weigh anything. Oh, man.
So, yeah, like, I guess he's budgeted okay to, like, get this built, but...
No, could you build it for $5,000? Yeah, no, okay, maybe.
Maybe.
We could. That would be pretty lean, though. I mean, it would be pretty stripped.
it would be really stripped down. I'm
It
trying
really
to think,
is just a database, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if... it's been so long since I've developed for Apple. I don't know if... Theoretically, I guess I could access the contacts.
You just put a web interface on the Apple contacts.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, because if you'd want to be able to read the contacts that are already on the phone, so that it automatically gets into your app and then you sync it remotely.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're allowed to do that in the Apple
Yeah, you might not be able to.
sandbox. I honestly don't know.
This might not actually even be...
So if I would have to download this app and then manually re-enter everything, I'd have to manually. By the time I manually re-enter 150 contacts, I bet you I've memorized a couple of those phone numbers. I bet you.
No, because I'm not doing it.
This guy's a dingbat. Dingbat.
No, he's just uninformed.
Yeah, an uninformed dingbat. Isn't that what I said? Do we not say the same thing? So, do you think this is going to get funded?
No,
No, me neither.
no, and it shouldn't.
We're no's across the board. We were really consistent today. We both said the same thing for everything.
Should not.
So, to recap in no particular order on these, just the order I have them in my spreadsheet, which is not the order we looked at tonight.
Yeah.
Luxury driving loafers, we both said should not, but will. That's mainly because, for me anyway, the bar is real low. It's only $5,000.
Yeah.
They only need like 27.
I
Most, they
I
need
think
27
I
backers.
think they're going to manage it.
They already have 3. My contacts were both no and no. Despite the fact this guy's also only asking for $5,000 American. Anyone, well, I shouldn't say anyone, but I feel like anyone who would be looking in the technology in apps probably has, I want to say, has some sort of technical knowledge that would let them know that this is a bad idea immediately.
Yeah.
And they would just not do it.
No.
I think if anyone does back it, it'll be like his mom and his sister and people.
But is he going to be able to get $5,000 out of family and friends?
No. No, I think if anything, this might get like $100 of funding.
Right.
Maybe. Like, I think that's high. Unfortunately, the big boy, we both wanted it.
Oh, it absolutely should be funded, but it won't.
It's canceled, so it can't be.
It won't.
2 buckets. Both think it should be. Both think it will be. So I think this is our riskiest.
It is.
Yes. Because this has the furthest to go. This is 50 grand she's asking for. She's already at 11% of her goal on day one. But if she gets this in front of the right people, and I feel like I get the sense from her Kickstarter page that she knows people, that she has a network that can sort of spread her message of two-bucketry out around to the right blogs
I think she might
and people.
be able to pull it off that way, yeah.
So I think she's probably going to get that. And then Ematimi, this is the free advertising one. Should not, will not for both of us.
No.
They are currently at $0, so 0%. So we're right on course for this one. We're also right on course for my contacts, which is also at 0.
Cool. Okay, that's Kickstarters.
So that's
for
those
today.
Kickstarters. If we want, we can take a look at some most funded video games. Just to sort of take a look at what these guys...
Some big success stories from them.
Yeah, so Jeremy and I, for our Kickstarter project, we are going to try to get something kickstarted this year, hopefully. It probably won't wind up on Kickstarter till at least the last half of the year, because the decisions that we're sort of making now, based on our experience with looking at Kickstarters, is we need to have something done, basically.
Something to show for the money we want.
Right. So we're going to have to finish something, basically, and sort of ask for funding. We're going to do something, build something for free that's not garbage, and then kickstart for like an expansion or an improvement on that. That's sort of the way we're approaching it. I can tell you now that it is 99% a game of some sort.
And 1%.
Maybe not a game, but almost certainly a game. We don't know anything. We can't really tell you anything more about it than that, because we haven't decided. But we should decide hopefully in the next couple of weeks, because I gotta build a game.
Because we're gonna have to actually build this.
We're gonna have to build a website, because we do want it to be a web-based game, and probably we haven't really also hammered this down. Probably a free-to-play game, so there's a monetization aspect there.
Yeah.
And so we have to build a website. That website needs to allow us to manage users, so they have to be able to sign up and log in. We have to figure out a payment system, like probably just PayPal, but maybe not. I don't know what the right solution is there. We need a database, some sort of social thing where people, so they can have like friends, and probably some sort of chat functionality, I would guess. Call to actions to do stuff, and a premium store so we can potentially make money. And for accounts, free accounts will be free. There will be likely advertising on the site, so we have to find space for advertising, find an ad partner. This is just not even the game. And then sell premium accounts.
People don't realize how much work there is before you even start.
Yeah, and then sell a premium account to remove advertising from the site. So we need to have a design with ads, a design without ads. We need to have social aspects built in, and that's just on the website for where people will go to play the game. Then we have to build a game.
Then we have to build something for them to do once they get
then we have to build something, a reason for them to be there and go through all of that.
Right. So, that's, we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, I guess at the very least, I could probably start at least doing a basic structure of a website, but I don't even know what technologies we want to use or anything.
We have a lot,
So there's discussions that have to happen. So anyways, because of that, we're sort of taking a look at what other people have done and succeeded. Right now,
glean out of that what
to see if we can do something that's not going to suck. So we've got I don't know, what would you say, like 30 different ideas right now, it feels like.
give or take.
Yeah, maybe a little less. That might
Possibly
be a little.
a lot more.
Yeah, it might be a little hyperbolic, but I think it's.
I don't think-
I think we're around 20.
At
Easy.
least.
I didn't number my list, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But something like that, and I think we have some good stuff. We can maybe pick
Something-
and choose some stuff. I think we have a solid idea, at least in terms of approach of building something, and then expanding it via Kickstarter.
We've got a plan to have an idea.
We have a plan to have an idea.
As soon as
Yeah,
we have that idea,
we're gonna have to. Yeah,
we've already got the plan.
We're gonna have like an 8-hour meeting one day and shift through everything. So I don't know if there's anything you want to look at on here specifically. I don't know if you're familiar with Mighty Number 9.
No.
So Mighty Number 9. Oh, don't get excited.
Oh, darn.
So this is a Mega Man clone.
Yeah.
It was it was made by veteran Mega Man developers. It funded big time to the tune of $4 million about.
Whee!
67,000 backers.
Of course.
And it is, I don't know, I haven't watched this video. If they have any gameplay or anything. Oh, this is just talking. So, actually, I'll find a YouTube video.
They're from Japan, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to find a YouTube video of the gameplay for it.
They've got a pape.
With
Number 9.
Do, do, do.
Sorry, this is the
oh,
so I'll.
people are not happy about this project.
No, this game is all sorts of bad. All sorts of bad.
What happened there?
So there's tons of videos you can find that sort of explain what happened. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of game design issues.
That looks pretty nice.
Yeah, the graphics are pretty nice, but the gameplay is really flawed. There's a lot of cheap tricks, and there's a lot of just generally bad game design. I've watched a 5-part series on why the design is so broken on this game.
Yeah.
And, people were really disappointed because it is a Mega Man game, which is beloved. And
Yeah, don't mess that up.
And it was being made by ex-Mega Man developers. So this should have been a winner. Like, this checked off all the right boxes. It was almost an existing franchise made by the people who used to work on the one that this was a knockoff of. And so you're like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to play like all the other ones. And they just boned it. There's a lot of issues with gameplay with it. Like, it's a little, like, it's not even like bugginess, it's just bad design. Well, there's a lot of like blind jumps, and they just kill you. Like, you don't know that you have to do like a second jump to avoid death, so you just jump because you have no place to go but down. And then you jump, and then the screen scrolls down, and you hit a bunch of spikes. So then you have to go back to a checkpoint, and then and that's not good game design. You shouldn't like be killing your players just to teach them a lesson, because that's like a dirty trick way to kill a player, right? Like, it's one thing if he knows the spikes are there and he just screws up his jump and dies. That's something. But this is like, you don't know there's spikes there, and I'm going to kill you. And then there's like other stuff where you're running along, and then something just falls on you. Like, there's nothing to indicate that something was going to fall on you, right?
Huh.
So, we shouldn't take any lessons in terms of how to build a game or design a game from these guys.
Well, we should take them as cautionary tales of what to avoid, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm just saying, like. So the reason these guys got funded, and these guys obviously have a way easier time getting funded than we're going to have. People know who these guys are. People know who this character is. People are familiar with the gameplay. And it's not I don't know that they had any like the art that was there looked really good.
And the game art there looks great.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like what they had on the
On the Kickstarter.
That looks really good.
True.
right? And I don't know if they had any, this is a nice graphic. Tons of stretch goals.
So can you still get this game?
I think so, yeah. I think might be on Steam. I don't actually know. I never bothered to buy it because I've heard nothing but bad things about it. Sorry, I'm just looking to see if I can get this on Steam. I just want to go to the store. I don't want to install Steam on this store. There.
Well, this guy's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like his first time playing it or what, but Mighty number 9, $22. Oh. You can still buy it.
You can still buy it.
Yeah, you can still buy it for $21.99, and then all the DLC for an extra $8.78. The reviews on it on Steam are mixed, which surprises me because
Yeah, see, I'm wondering if...
every review I've seen has been like, this game is fundamentally flawed.
I wonder what the actual experience is.
Like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or how... If there's just like a couple of like areas where they screwed up on level design or something like that, or...
I don't know. Like, the thing that I watched was by a guy whose whole YouTube channel is about game design, and
Okay.
he was just like,
Yeah,
this thing is
but just
broken."
because...
Yeah, no, to be fair, like, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm sure that some people must have enjoyed it, but, like, a lot of people really didn't.
Okay.
That much I can tell you about Mighty Number 9. But they had a really good-looking Kickstarter page, and they had a really strong team.
And they...
Oh yeah, they had
Blue
tons of
bin.
stretch goals, and what was the bar to get in? $5 got you your name in the credits of this game. $20 got you the digital copy. So again, we're seeing kind of a low barrier to entry in order to back this,
Yeah.
and tons of stretch goals.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
at whatever it was, 1,200,000, you got 2 more stages. They would port it to Mac and Linux if it hit 1350 or 1.35 million.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they weren't even putting New Game Plus in. That blows my mind. You can get it on console. Oh God, they even PS4 you can get it, which I think I knew, but. Whatever. Online race battle mode.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. What else we got?
So there's Double Fine Adventure we can look at, but this is another one of those ones where it's if you're not a gamer, you might not be familiar with Double Fine, but they have made a ton of really popular games. They're one of my favorite game dev studios. They made Psychonauts, I believe, which is an awesome game. And this was just, we're going to make an adventure game. And I think this was Broken Age was what they wound up making, which is also slightly flawed. But, so, I don't know if it says in here what they wound up making. Oh, that's a good game. Stacking? They didn't make Stacking with it, but Stacking is a really great game. I highly recommend it if you haven't played it. Yeah, so these guys are basically trading on their legacy of games that they've made in the past. And this is a studio. I think at the time they were sort of struggling financially.
Okay.
But this is like a legitimate game development studio. This is Tim, whose last name I forget, but he's like the Double Fine guy. He is in my opinion, like a game design genius. Like everything he makes is really good. So he could really trade on, he could really trade on his reputation.
Yeah, if he was involved in Day of the Tentacle, like that's...
Yeah, like he's done tons of really cool stuff. Psychonauts is an amazing game. If you haven't played that, I recommend that. But yeah, so this is one of those things where it was just going to make money because people love Double Fine games and people love Tim. He's sort of funny and he was doing he was doing all the update videos and stuff. And so I think he would answer questions and stuff on video. So he's sort of like a gaming celebrity, which helped a lot.
We need a gaming celebrity.
So we don't have that. But, you know, it was $15 to get the finished game.
Done.
Right? Like that's what it was.
Yeah.
For this Kickstarter. I think we can come in cheaper than that, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Because we were sort of looking at a free-to-play model. It would
And not
just
only
be a
that, we're looking
subscription.
at a much smaller game.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of. I bet you if we looked at like something like maybe just like mobile games, I bet you'd see prices that were sort of similar to this also, where people are like, for $15 we'll give you the whole game for backing us. Thanks for backing us. Here's a game. And I don't spend $15 on mobile games. That's me. Some people do, but I don't. So that's so these are sort of a couple of like more celebrity ones. Same with ukulele. Like this is sort of the problem on this front page, right? Like this was made by the same guys that did Banjo Kazooie. Homestuck. Right? They did their own adventure game. They were already a thing. Elite Dangerous. Were they a studio before this? Who did this? Frontier Developments. These guys got a ton of money. I feel like Elite Dangerous was done as
They didn't blow their goal away, but they had a pretty strong goal.
yeah.
And they did clear it.
Yep. And so there was $5 got you a digital code. So £5 got you a digital copy of the game. And they got a thing they could put on their ship. So that's a cool thing. That's a good idea. Is like a Kickstarter specific loot or whatever.
Yep.
Cosmetic. Should make a note of that. Let me open that. I have a file for that somewhere.
Kickstarter swag. Kickstarter in-game swag.
Lessons learned. Yeah. Kickstarter. Oh, jeez. So much lag. Kickstarter. I don't know where I was typing. It was not where my cursor was, though. Okay, so Kickstarter's cosmetics. So these guys came in. Do I have good graphic design on this list? So what we have so far is good graphic design, low cost rewards, stretch goals, a low total ask, and Kickstarter cosmetics.
Yep.
And then I have a bunch of bad ideas down in the notes that I want to switch, because I was at that time I was sort of had it in my head that we were going to do something a little more episodic. But if we do, free to play premium accounts as reward. There, that's something. All right, so I have a note there that at least makes sense. So this was, what was this? This was a sequel to a game. Latest installment in a long series of epic space games. So this is another one where this is at least IP that's existed in the past. I feel like Elite Dangerous was a little old at the time that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Updates. We can see how many updates they had. Oh, they had 61, but we can see how often they had updates. May, April. So they did a dev diary. So a dev diary is a good idea. That engages you. That'll engage people. They can come here. Like you have the website, but just people who just want to go to the Kickstarter page can at least do that also. Oh man, they added Oculus Rift support. Okay. So we'll say regular updates. Regular updates. I had actually I'd mentioned it earlier, sort of. We'd gone past a board game called Exploding Kittens.
Yep.
And that's like the most funded thing of all time, I think. So let me go back to games. Go here. So these guys, the Exploding Kittens guys, they funded this for $1 billion or whatever it was. 8 million, almost $9 million. They got funded for a card game.
Yeah.
They came back and did a second game, and they kickstarted it. Not that they would have needed to, because they had $9 million from the first game. Obviously not all profit, but I mean, they did well on the first game. And they came back and they said they felt that kickstarting was, a lot of it was about creating community. So they were big on, they only had 34 updates, but still a fair number of updates. And never actually really scrolled through this page entirely. Tons of stretch goals, these guys. I do know that. Lots of like limited edition, big ticket stuff, like $500 things. But they also did have low, I think. What was the cheapest to get in? $20 got you a copy of the game. Then $35 got you Exploding Kittens plus a copy of the Not Safe for Work deck. Oh, that's what I have. It's just that. I've only played it with that, but it's a full game. I think. It calls it bonus cards here, which scares me. Have I only played this with bonus cards at home?
Ages 30 plus.
Yeah. We got it for Christmas. We were going to take it to my mom's place to play. And I was like, I can't play this game with my mom. I was reading the cards. There was no way.
No. I know.
Like, they were funny, but I was like, no. Too many penises on this deck of cards.
And out.
Anyways. So, I don't know. I think that's enough for today. I don't know if you want to take a look at just like some random Kickstarter, but it is 10 o'clock.
No, I think I'm about out of power, so.
All right. Let's see. I don't even know what we're looking at. Okay. Maybe we were looking at this for the whole time. I don't think we were, though.
No, we weren't.
Okay. Anyways, so that is another episode. That was lucky episode 13. You knew that was going to happen at the beginning of the show, right? Because it was episode 13.
Episode 13. It was.
We'll say we had a little bit of a late start, but that's not entirely true. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. And if I don't screw up the sound, it will actually start at 8 p.m. Mountain Time.
You'll see something at 8 p.m.
You might not be able to hear it. Facebook.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. If you want to check us out on Instagram, Instagram.com/Bourbon and Zeppelins. There's a couple pictures of bourbon on there. I don't think we have any Zeppelin pictures. You can be one of the 100 followers we have on Instagram. 100-ish. I think we're down a little bit. If you want to follow us on Twitter, which I don't know why you would, because I never remember to tweet there, Twitter.com/BNZ Show. And if you can find it in your heart of hearts to find us on YouTube, if you aren't already watching us on YouTube.
Help us
either
out.
way, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube, excuse me.
YouTube.com, searching for Bourbon and Zeppelins.
Pardon me.
You'll find us. You'll subscribe.
That really snuck
We'll
up
love
on me
you.
there. Sorry about that.
You all
everybody.
right there?
Yeah, I'm good. I just had to sneeze. And I don't know why I started eating a chocolate right at the end of the show. But yeah, so youtube.com, search for Bourbon and Zeppelins. Just subscribe. I'm not even going to tell you to watch anything. If you're watching this on YouTube, just subscribe. Watch us live on Facebook, and then you can see the half hour that I screwed up at the beginning of this episode. Until next week, if you have any questions or comments, put them down below wherever you're watching this. We'll try to answer them. We do try to engage with you. If you have any ideas about what we should kickstart,
We'd love to hear
if you
it.
have game ideas, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a game. If you have any game ideas, feel free to pitch them in the comments. And if they're better than what we got, we'll steal them. We won't give you any of our Kickstart money.
And we're definitely good salespeople, as you can tell.
Have I convinced you yet? All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Until next week, everybody.